Time now for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast Live and A's Cast, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep for all your bedding needs. Your mattress, your sheets, your pillows, you name it. You go to one of their stores in the Bay Area or you go online to nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Love where you sleep. All right, Mark Kotsay, time to get off the beach, put the sunscreen away, put the surfboard away. The second half, are you excited, ready to rock?
I am. I'm excited about the second half. Obviously, there's some change taking place here, and all good, all in the right direction. I think that the Ace fans should be excited about it.
Yeah, I think the news when it came out energized the fan base because you've been waiting, you've been hearing about Soderstrom, you've been hearing about Gelof, you've read about him, you've heard about him. We've had both the guys on here on A's Cast Live. There always is, when a team is looking to get better in the future, a lot of energy around the young kids coming up. I can tell you, if you look at all of our social platforms, my cell phone, all these A's fans are super fired up. What's it like for the manager?
No, it is exciting. You think back to your own career, and when I got called up at 21 on a team in '97 with the Marlins, and how exciting that was, and to step into that major league locker room for the first time. There's going to be some butterflies for sure. There's going to be some growing pains for Tyler and for Zack, and don't forget to mention Freddie Tarnok as well. So these three kids are going to walk into that locker room today with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and I think it's going to be great for our ball club.
You know, when you think about that team in '97, you were going to an established team that would win the World Series. Obviously, we're not looking at that with the A's. So what's it going to be like for these kids? Because they're going to get a lot of playing time.
Yeah, I mean, it's more reflective of my '98 season, and in '97 I was only there for 18 days, so in and out. I did my job, but in '98, starting out the season and looking in the locker room, it was a little different feeling. It was Mike Lowell,
Yeah.
it was Alex Gonzalez, it was Luis Castillo, it was Preston Wilson, Kevin Millar. So these are all names that obviously became very established big leaguers for several years, 10 plus year careers. And so I think these guys are walking into that situation more than what I did in '97. But anytime, you get this chance to put on a big league uniform, to represent the organization that drafted you in Tyler and Zack, I think these guys are going to have a lot of pride when they take the field. They're going to play with a lot of passion, and they deserve this. Both of them have done a nice job this year in AAA. Put up good numbers, and we're hoping that translates to the big leagues.
As you mentioned, there's going to be some bumps in the road. It's a roller coaster ride. There's going to be highs. There's going to be lows. What is the key for you? What is the key for the coaching staff to help these kids when they're going through the lows?
Yeah, I think you've seen it this year so far. I think, the coaching staff in April, we realized what we needed to get done, how much we needed to dig in and teach. And I think that's just the same message for what we're getting into with Zack and with Tyler. Tyler's going to be, challenged with a lot on his plate. He's going to play catcher some. He's going to play first base, and he gets some DH at bats. And so that's challenging. When you get to the big leagues, the catching position, as we've seen with Shea, is the most difficult to accelerate progress in. And I think the biggest thing for these guys is to keep them confident, to just keep working them, as we're going to do with this ball club. We've come a long way. We're more competitive now than we were in April and May. And we want to continue in that direction. And that's the goal of the coaching staff. And I think that's the goal of the players in the room.
Have you really thought about actual playing time, how it's going to work with Tyler? Because as you mentioned, you got Shea behind the plate. You've got Ryan Noda, who's trying to establish himself at first base. Obviously, you mentioned DH, but you want this kid to play a lot of defense too. Have you thought about exactly how it's going to work?
Yeah, I mean, I can show you my notes, but also, Blake, you talked about the beach and the surfing. This guy doesn't surf, but there was some downtime, Sunday night, Monday night, and into Tuesday. But once I found out that we're going to make this change in direction with these players coming to the big leagues, there was time spent in kind of just thinking through their processes and how I can help them, not only keep them fresh, but keep them in the right frame of mind. They're going to play the majority of the time and have this experience. And, we're going to watch their successes and their failures and evaluate that. But, for Tyler, I don't want to, grind him into, catching and playing first and not getting some time off as well. So there's a balance to it. And we'll watch their, workloads as it's called now, instead of just how much their body can handle. And I think that's kind of key for Tyler. And, Zack is a strong kid. He's going to want to play every day as well.
Yeah, and let's not forget Jordan Diaz. Let's not forget Ruiz. So is that what the plan now in the second half is we're going to see mostly the young guys? And obviously that'll be a tough conversation for you with some of the veterans.
Yeah, no question. I think, obviously still, Tony, I mean, we're here to win games. So these young guys have to perform, and I won't let guys sit on the bench for an extended period of time. That's just not how I like to manage. I like to involve everybody. I think all 26 guys can help this club win. So we are going to still continue to do that. We're still going to continue to play everyone and give these guys chances to have success. And, there's still a big date out there in 2 weeks from now. There's a trading deadline as well. So, this ball club has some pieces I feel like that might get moved, that might be able to go on and help a team win. But for right now, where we are here and now, the young guys are going to get those at bats, and we're going to mix those veteran guys in and hopefully have success.
As you were sitting back during the All-Star break, I don't manage the team. I'm just a guy who's around the team. I thought about a lot of stuff. What is it like for you during the All-Star break when you kind of get a chance to unplug, sit back, reflect on the first half, think about the second half, the direction of where you want the team to go? What was this All-Star break for you? And if you could share some of those thoughts.
Yeah, I think as I left Boston Sunday, I kind of tried to detach, really give myself a 48-hour period of not trying to think about baseball, where we're at as a club, and just spend time with my family, really. When Wednesday rolled around, the phone started, blowing up a little bit more, in terms of what was happening and phone calls that need to be made and attachment again. You lock back in and really start focusing on, the future and the preparation for a second half. So I did get 2 good quality days. I got to see my former bench coach, Brad Osmus, in the Cape, and really spend Monday with him and his family, and had a clam bake, which was amazing.
First nice.
Done that. So yeah, that was really cool. The East Coast, Cape Cod, we didn't catch a game, but it's a place that holds kind of some special memories for myself. After my freshman year in college, I went out there and played in the league, and my family being in Boston when I played for the Red Sox would go out there and spend a couple of days on vacation. So there was a lot of peace for those first 2 days, and then again, it started to kind of digest the workload and start making phone calls, reaching out to these young players and congratulating them. Having a tough conversation with a guy like Tyler Wade, who we designated for assignment. Again, this is his second time going through this process, but he's decided to stay with the organization. He'll be back in Vegas. So there's also work involved as well.
Clam bakes are legit.
Yeah, it was great. The lobster was amazing. It had corn, it had mussels, clams, potatoes. So yeah, I mean, I didn't get any skinnier on the All-Star break.
Well, good for you. I mean, you need it. I mean, obviously, when you're a team that, you're in first place, you hit that All-Star break, you want a little bit of a break, you can't wait to get back. But when you've been going through what you're going through, it's a mental grind. It's tough. And as competitive as you are, it's not easy. So I'm glad you detached kind of some goals. Or what do you want to see? What exactly do you want to see, or some goals that you may have for this club, going young or not? As you said, still about winning games. What do you want to see in the second half?
Yeah, I want to see us to continue to be competitive. We have been competitive over the last month, I think, in that stretch. At one point, I think if you had looked at the last 26 games, we were 13-13, which is solid for where we started out from. So I think, continued progress in the right direction, doing the fundamental things right, Boston, we didn't play well in Boston the first 2 days, and it showed. The last day, we again didn't execute the fundamentals in a game where we could have added on. We were up 3-1. We had a chance to go up 5-1. We couldn't get a bunt down several times, and we made some base running mistakes. So cleaning up those little things, Townie, really, and from those young guys, eliminating those mistakes and teaching them what it means to be a championship type team, executing 1-1 count, fastballs or for strikes, or breaking balls for landing breaking balls behind in the count. I think we've seen progress with, JP Sears, and really he's establishing himself as a major league starter. I want to see that from Ken Waldachuk. Freddie Tarnock's going to get called up today, and he's going to get an opportunity to show what he can do. So you go through these guys, these young guys, Brett Harris, again, on the mound, really wanting to see them, take the reins and start running with it. And, we're going to have some impact this second half on some of these winning teams that we're going to play. And that's the goal. The goal is to win as many games as possible in the second half, and, keep our heads down and play good quality baseball, and teach these kids how to be a championship type team.
Just one thing on the draft before we let you go. I was thinking about it because, we started seeing all the different picks coming across. And I just thought, man, if there was any place that I would like to get drafted, knowing the yellow brick road leading right to the big leagues, is this organization right now. It's like you're not blocked. You show up, you're legit, you put up numbers, you'll be here faster than probably any other organization. I don't know if you'll ever get a chance. I know you'll talk to some of these kids probably down at spring training, but am I looking at it the right way? This is exactly what you want to play in the big leagues. You're going to have, if you put up the numbers and you do the right things, you've got the fastest path to the big leagues. These kids were just drafted by the A's.
No, I couldn't agree more, honestly, Townie. And I thought our draft went well. I thought we added to the organization where there's some deficiency, and that's on the mound. I think we took 11 pitchers out of 21 picks. We took a lot of college arms in the middle of the draft. And I think we reached for a couple high school arms that should have impact as well. So I think on the mound, if you're looking at it and you got drafted by this organization, you're collegiate type pitcher, you've got a fast track if you go out and dominate. And that's the key, really. And when I say dominate, for me, you go out and pitch in AAA, you should be pitching, if you're a starting pitcher, you should be pitching 6-7 innings a start. And when you're, really, at that level, I think there's an opportunity for you to get to the big leagues at an accelerated path. So even from the position side, as you talk about, there is a ton of opportunity in this organization. But I still think that, for us at the major league level, our job is, again, we go back to winning games, but teaching them how to be championship players. And that's really the detail of the game. And I think, in development, we're going to really focus and lean on that message that, you want to get to the big leagues, you've got to do everything right.
Well, I can tell you, a lot of people are excited. The kids are coming up. Great stuff. Good luck in the second half. And, of course, we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great, Tony. Thanks.
It's the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast and A's Cast Live. And the sponsor of the Mark Kotsay Show is Nest Bedding. Check out their locations in the Bay Area for all your bedding needs, your mattress, your pillow, your sheets, you name it. Or you go to nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com.